Welcome back to This Week in Magic Online Finance. I'm your host, Chaz Andres, and let's get started with the biggest story of the week, which of course is that Guilds of Ravnica is finally here. It's live on MTGO, which is really nice because remember a couple of years ago when the set would release in paper, but you had to wait like 3 or 4 weeks for it to come out on MTGO? Well, not anymore, and that's one of the really nice changes about the program over the past couple of years. We can complain about MTGO till the cows come home, but that is a great change. At any rate, even though we only have like 1 day worth of pricing data, there are actually a few trends that are beginning to emerge. First and foremost, Assassin's Trophy has become already the most expensive card in the set. And that really shouldn't surprise anybody because it's going to be good. There's really no doubt that Assassin's Trophy is going to be a multi-format staple. Granted, 15 tickets is pretty expensive for a non-mythic rare, but I don't see that price going down anytime soon. This card, it's just great, and everybody knows it. Beyond Assassin's Trophy, there are actually only 3 other cards in the set that are worth more than 10 tickets each right now: Aurelia, Doom Whisperer, and March the Multitudes. And we'll see how the new format shakes out, but all 3 of these cards have a shot at becoming tier 1 staples for of mythics in their respective decks. So in cases like this, the smart money is pretty much always on trading away or selling cards that haven't proven themselves and only buying cards when they actually show up in tournament winning decks. But look, chances are one of these 3 cards is going to be at least 20 tickets at this point next week, so I don't blame anyone for holding these, especially if you're a true believer in Boros or Selesnya or whichever of these decks you actually think is going to make it first. Now, I can't tell you which of these cards has the best bet, but not for nothing, March of the Multitudes has probably seen the least press of these 3 cards, but it has the best price chart at the moment, so maybe that's the one that breaks out. Let's move on to gaining ground, where this week in Standard, our biggest gainer was Dominaria Mythic History of Benalia. It gained about 4 tickets, going from 13 up to 17, which makes sense because I've seen a lot of people put this in their new post-Guild Standard decks. This is a card that could fit in Boros, could fit in Azorius Control, definitely gonna fit in whenever Selesnya deck emerges, so it's going to see play. But its ceiling is limited, and that's because it's got 2 expensive cards ahead of it in Dominaria. It's got Teferi, the most expensive card in Standard. It's also got Karn, so its upside is limited somewhat. But people are playing this. I've seen more people put this in deck lists than Teferi, certainly more than Karn, so there's a shot it'll break or even exceed the 20 ticket mark. It's totally fine to buy these if you need them. I'm just a little worried about its upside as a spec because of those other expensive cards that are also in the set. Let's move over to Modern, where there weren't actually that many big gainers this week. Grim Lavamancer was our biggest gainer. It gained about a ticket from 9 up to 10, which is actually part of a longer trend that's been going on since the spring or so. Grim Lavamancer used to be pretty stable in the 4 to 5 ticket range, then in May it started to climb, and now it's up to 10. And the card does see a decent amount of play. It sees play in Burn, sees play in Jund, Mardu Pyromancer, even Humans sometimes, so why the upswing now? Well, part of it could be the Jund resurgence due to Assassin's Trophy, or maybe it's just Burn. I've seen a lot of modern Burn cards sort of slowly ticking up over the past couple of days, so who knows, but this card is still slowly on the rise. Let's move on to the biggest loser, where in Standard it was actually the most expensive card in the format. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, dropping 5 tickets from 38 down to about 33. So is this the start of a bigger losing trend for Teferi? Should we be panicking? Not really. The card is pretty stable in this sort of 30 to 35 ticket range. This is the sort of random fluctuation that happens all the time with more expensive cards, especially in Standard. That said, I do want to say that Teferi is a little more risky than most people seem to think it is because its price is predicated on the card definitely being a key part of a tier 1 deck post-rotation. Is that going to happen? Probably. Almost certainly. But it's not a guarantee. Nothing is a guarantee when a metagame shifts when there's a rotation this massive. So there is more risk with Teferi than everyone seems to think, but it's probably going to be fine. Probably. Probably. Let's move on to Modern, where for the second straight week, it looks kind of like a buzzsaw has swept through the marketplace. You've got Mox Opal down about 10 tickets, you've got Liliana of the Veil down 10 tickets, you've got Surgical Extraction down 7, you've got Horizon Canopy down another 6 after a massive drop last week. The bloodbath is kind of going on and on and on. So what's going on here? Is this the end of everything? Should we be panicking and selling all of our Modern cards? No, of course not. This is a thing that happens all the time. It happens whenever a new set is released. It happens double whenever there's a major format rotation, which is that people are selling the old cards that they don't really need right now and buying the latest hotness. The only real difference here is that it's a little bit stronger than it usually is, which tells me two things. One, people are going to be giving Guilds of Ravnica Standard a shot. It's going to be a popular format, at least early on, because people are buying in. They want it to be good. And two, now's a really, really good time to buy Modern cards. Like, if you've been holding off on buying staples like Mox Opal, think about picking these up at some point over the next couple of weeks, because these prices will go back up. Modern cards always do. Now, this week's Sneak of the Week is Ensnaring Bridge, a card that has been slowly on the rise ever since it was reprinted in Masters 25. Hit a low of about 22 tickets back in August, it's up to 31 now and continuing to slowly climb. And it always remains a part of the metagame one way or another, sees play in decks like Mardu Pyromancer and Modern Burn and Grixis Control and Legacy, so it'll be around. The trick with this card is it's one of those things you want to pick up if you've got some extra tickets, throw in your collection, and get surprised at some point in the future when it breaks the 50 ticket mark and you can say to yourself, oh hey, I have some of those, neat. As always, let's end the week by taking a look at the MTGOTraders sales data over the past 7 days. And this is what we do to get a sense of what things are actually selling for, which cards are the most popular in the marketplace, regardless of prices going up or down. As of this recording, Guilds of Ravnica has only been out about a day and a half, so we don't have that full impact yet when we're looking at these numbers. We're not going to have that until next week's show. What I can say is that the top 2 selling rares this week were actually from Guilds of Ravnica. It's Steam Vents and Temple Guard, and that's because these cards were actually available on MTGO earlier than Saturday because, well, they've been printed twice before already. So is there anything we can glean from this, like the fact that Steam Vents is the most popular Shockland sold, and maybe that means Izzet's going to be the best guild in the new format? I don't think so. I can hope, because I love the Izzet, but I don't really like the Izzet cards and guilds all that much, so this is probably just random noise. But these Shocklands are actually starting to go up again a little bit now, so it may be worth buying in if you need them. Now, moving on to overall sales by price, we actually have a pretty remarkable result, which is that Assassin's Trophy was our #1 card of the week, and that was despite the fact that it just wasn't available to buy for most of the days that these numbers track. That is crazy, especially considering the fact that the next Guilds of Ravnica card down on the list, which is Doom Whisper, only sold about 1/4 as many as Assassin's Trophy. So look, these numbers are going to look very, very different next week once we have a full week of guilds to analyze, but one thing is very clear from everything I've looked at this week, which is that Assassin's Trophy is a card that people very much believe in, and it is going to be expensive for the foreseeable future. That's all I got for you this week. Thank you so much for watching, and join me next Monday morning for yet another episode of This Week in Magic Online Finance.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome MTG content just like this, and make sure to tap the bell icon to be notified whenever a video is made live. If you want to keep watching content, here are 2 more videos for you. This video and many others are sponsored by MTGOTraders and Cape Fear Games. Buy and sell digital singles to build your online collection today with MTGOTraders, and get your paper singles, accessories, and much more from Cape Fear Games. Whatever your Magic needs, both places have you covered.